And live from Lake Tahoe with the Sell a House Wholesale Real Estate Investing number 157 on August 26, 2015 on this Wisdom Wednesday. We're going to call these now here.
I like it.
And this is the day that we're going to bring you lots and lots of wisdom. And the first thing I just want to point out is you might see right here where it says sellahousearizona.com, and yet I said live from Lake Tahoe. How could that be? Why does that? Well, it's because I have, over the course of a few years here, with my partner, John Leister, who's sipping on coffee right now there, built a real estate investing business, wholesaling business that has given us not completely financial freedom that we're looking for. That comes this year, but it's given us enough financial freedom that last month John could be in New York for 2 weeks doing these hangouts and enjoying a good time while still doing some real estate work, and I can be here at my house catching up on 8 years of falling behind in 30 days, and still be able to do these hangouts and do some work in the business. I'm working on getting a deal closed here today, as well as working around here, and that's what this business, wholesale real estate, can afford to anyone. But you can take the long road like John and I did that gets you 4 years to get there, or you can take the fast road by joining a team like John and I have built and get there a lot quicker. So your call. That's my wisdom for Wednesday. And good day, John, on Wisdom Wednesday. What do you got to say there, buddy?
I want to expand on something you said, that we built a wholesale business, but what we really created here and what we're building is really an empire, a wholesale empire. So, Paul, I just wanted to point out to you that, yes, this is a business, but let's grow the vision a little bit and call it what it is. It's an empire that we're building here. And the reason I say that is because we're looking to build huge. We're eventually looking to go national. We're really building and expanding on and have found some real key players or real key team members here in the last couple weeks since I've been back from New York. And I feel like we're at the point now with the business that what we put together is just, it's massive. And I bring that up because of, what the team was able to do yesterday. What I'm holding in my hand here is a contract. Oh, some stuff fell out of the folder. I love seeing this. All the signatures on the end of a page, an end of a contract. And you know what? We've decided to make New Op Days, all about discussing the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the reason we did that is because what's so critically important in your success as a wholesaler is your ability to deal with people. I'll get into that in a second. Now back to this contract. This contract only got signed for 2 reasons: persistence, and the ability to work well with people. And it started with the sales funnel. This is a 1.5-year-old lead, actually. Paul and I found this property vacant over about 1.5 years ago. And we found the owners, contacted them. They weren't interested in selling in 1.5 years. They said no. They didn't say we're never going to sell the property. They just weren't ready to sell the property 1.5 years ago. Paul and I have figured out that a no does not mean no, especially in a wholesale real estate business. And then you put together what we have is a system. Some people call it a tickler system, a sales marketing funnel. What we have is all those things. And basically, there's follow-up involved, which led me to the kitchen table to get this signed. And if it wasn't for what we discuss on New Op Days, I don't know that I could have got these people signed. This was a difficult signing. People had a very strong emotional attachment to the property. And in order to get them to sell us this property, I had to do a lot of listening. Notice I said I did a lot of listening. I did not talk to them and try to talk them into it. I listened to the stories about the house. I listened to stories about the mom they took care of. And this family had this house for 30 years and it got burnt down. And that's the reason they're selling it now, is because they finally came to the realization it's never going to be able to, they're in their current economic situation, they're never going to be able to fix it up. You know, given the property values, it just doesn't make sense for them to tear it down and build a new home there. And quite frankly, it's not even about building a new home on that lot. It's about the home that this woman had grown up in. And there's a lot of emotional attachment there. And I bring this up because this is one of, besides this, we got 3 other deals in escrow yesterday. And this signed, which will be opening escrow this morning. So 4 escrows, 24 hours, that's pretty darn good. If we did 4 deals a week, that's 4 times 52. That's 100. Wait, 52 weeks, 4 deals a week. That's 208 deals a year, which we're right on track to do, quite honestly, because of what we built here. But it's not just because of the sales and marketing funnel that Paul and I built and the system for leads and gathering. Really, it's the people skills we learned. Because in order to get deals like this and put these deals in escrow, it requires a team. You know, 2 of the 4 deals that we've contracted yesterday didn't come directly from Paul and I. 2 of those 4 deals came from a guy that we've been training and has been working with and has been on the team since November, who quite frankly is just crushing it out there. And that's what this is all about, people. And it's our ability to work with you guys and train you and teach you what we've got. And we have the whole back end gathering, funneling, marketing, sales system. But at the end of the day, what gets the ink onto this piece of paper is your ability to work with and mainly listen to people. So I know that's Monday's conversation, really, is that book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I just wanted to drive home the point because it's been on my mind since we had that last hangout, how important that is. And Paul's raising his hand, so I know he's got a ton of thoughts. That's kind of my opening feelings for today, and I'll toss it back over to you, Paul.
No, I wasn't actually raising my hand. You were saying, when you were finishing that up there, you were saying, you know, the sales system is part of it, but the people skills is the second part. And what it really comes down to, you know, after all your marketing and everything else, into actually getting the ink on that piece of paper, and I was just doing this, is you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You were saying your skills, and I just went, is you. Yes, right there. So anyway, no, that's great wisdom for Wednesday right there, because it is true. There's 2 sides to successful wholesale real estate. Wow, excuse me. And and one side is all you usually get in your quote systems. I have to laugh because there is right now repeatedly being hammered on 2 different radio stations for the past week. I have been hearing Fan Merrill from, you know, This Old House or whatever his TV show is, you know, hey, do you want to learn wholesale real estate? You know, learn our quick 3-step system for finding and flipping houses. And your Reno market is perfect for our system. And we're looking for just a few people who are really interested in blah, 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 and the same old stuff. And I have to laugh because I went to it. I went to that 3 years ago. No, actually, it was 4 years ago I went to that. And I'm not going to get into the whole system. I'm not going to bash it. I mean, he's got something going on there. He's making money, and I suppose that there are some people that he is helping. So I'm not going to bash the system. It wasn't for me, although I did pay. I did sign up. I did pay some money. I did get involved because I wanted to see what the system was. And the only way to see what the system is you have to pay money. See, and that's the difference here is if you want to see, you know, they'll tell you all about what the system is, but if you want to actually see what the system is, you got to pay the money. And then if you see the system and you don't like the money, try to get the money back. That's the fun part. That's where the adventure begins. That's where your people skills come into play. That's where you're being able to deal with other people. Really, you know, needs to rise to the surface if you want success in getting that money back. Which I did get my money back, but I just, like I say, I have to laugh because, again, the sales system is one part of it. The people skills is another part of it, and what that commercial is offering to people to come in and pay a whole bunch of money for is presenting systems, the sales systems, but never anywhere in there did it talk about at all the people skills required for anybody to have success at it, which, you know, hey, that's great because people come in, they spend a bunch of money, they aren't successful because they don't have the people skills, because they don't realize that's a key element. And, you know, that company's made a whole bunch of money because now they're done and gone and on somewhere else. But the bad thing about that is that now you have created a naysayer. Now you've created somebody who is out there bashing the business to other people and the industry to other people because it didn't work for them. And they paid a lot of money and it didn't work for them. And it's a bunch of bullshit. And so now they're out there telling other people, you know, to stay away because it's BS. And that's the negative down part of what goes on there. So that's why we actually right here live to the entire public of the world, whoever wants to come here and find us, are actually professing the people skills as, you know, a very strong piece to your success, and why we will educate you guys on how to develop your people skills so that you can be successful, whether you go pay for a program or whether you do it on your own or whether you join a free program like ours or whatever the case might be.
Right, absolutely. I wanted to point out that as Paul mentioned, I've done many trainings and webinars, and I've gone to live seminars about real estate and networking groups, and they do, you know, you can go on YouTube right now, text in the words wholesale real estate training, how to flip a house, how to wholesale, and you can learn all the dynamics and mechanics of what it means to wholesale a property, getting it under, everything from soup to nuts and getting it under contract to assigning away that contract to the buyer. And that's great. That's part of the business. Absolutely. You can also find tons of videos, wholesale marketing, wholesale real estate videos teaching you how to find the quote unquote motivated seller with mailing lists and mailers and absentee owner and probate and obituary and pre-foreclosure and all that stuff. And that's great too. That's, you know, so you could go out and you can get a lot of that information, other sources other than mine and Paul. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people might stumble into this and they're not quite getting the concept that we're, you know, approaching with our hangouts. And the concept is this, people, we're trying to do something different. All that information about how to find the motivated seller and send them letters in the mail and all the information about what it means to wholesale, it's been there, done that. It's pretty standard stuff. It's out there for anybody to kind of click into a video and see that stuff. And as Paul said with the seminar that's coming through Reno now that he's been hearing on the radio being slam dunked with, is going to tell you probably going to tell you all those things and you know, offer you more further education. And I'm not, you know, putting down any of that stuff because I've done that kind of stuff as well. And I've been very successful, but it takes a certain type of person to go there. Do you know the success rate for people who attend those seminars? I think I read somewhere, Paul, believe the average person spends $8,000 to $12,000 on real estate seminars. And out of like 100 people, only 2 of them ever have any success in real estate. because only about 2% of anybody anywhere in the world, this is also a statistic from Napoleon Hill, will actually have a strong enough burning desire to see things through to the end and go out there and seek all the specialized knowledge that is required to be successful in whatever it is they're choosing as the field they want to be successful in. So with that being said, Paul and I are a little different. You don't see us coming on here with whiteboards, writing down probate and telling you what it means to find a seller in probate, and writing down absentee owner, absentee landlord lists and all that other stuff, because quite frankly, that stuff's already out there. I don't want to just come on a hangout, Paul and I, and rehash stuff that's already available to people and already been there, done that. What we're trying to bring out to you guys is how important you are to the success of the wholesale real estate business, which is why we lean so heavily towards mainly discussing personal development and business development skills that quite frankly transcend this genre, meaning the things we talk about on these hangouts. I don't care if your business is widgets, if your business is network marketing, or you're, direct sales, you're a door-to-door vacuum salesman. These skills and the systems and the concepts we talk about transcend real estate. And what we're going to start focusing on now, like I said in the beginning of this hangout, is really sharpening people skills. Because if you're going to be in real estate, especially if you're going to be in wholesale real estate, the key element that's missing from all the trainings out there is the skills of interacting with people. And I just want to say that a lot of us look at that guy that's just, that guy, he's a natural. He's great with people. I can never be like him. He's just so good with people. He's just a natural. I'm too shy. I'm too introverted. Yada, 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 the inner critic, which is why we talk so strongly about personal development, is to shut that voice up. But the awesome thing about this, the awesome thing and the point that I'm trying to make is that people skills, as any other skill that's out there, are learnable. And guess what? Yeah, there are people that are just natural people, but they too can benefit from a book like How to Win Friends and Influence People, and by sharpening themselves and honing those skills. There may always be someone that's a little bit better than you, but you know what? How strong is your desire? Do you want to be successful in real estate? Do you want to be successful in life? Step one is you got to create a burning desire to succeed. And part of that burning desire will be the drive, the motivation, the push for you to get over yourself. Really, it's about get over yourself and go out there and realize that these are all learnable skills with practice and study and going out there and just implementation. People skills are learnable skills. I don't care who you are. You can learn how to deal with people, and you can learn the art of negotiation. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you'll become extremely successful. So I'll toss it back over to Paul, kind of weigh in a little bit over here.
What's that? What'd you say? You're not good enough? Hey, shut up. Get out of here. That's what it comes down to right there. Like John says, the little voice in your head that tells you you can't. You know what? You can. That's the whole thing, is you can. And everything is learnable. You can learn anything you want. And the thing is you don't have to learn it all. That's the beautiful part about it, because you know what? There's so very few people out there that know a lot about anything. Okay, so if you take the time to learn about something, I mean, if you took 20 minutes a day for 30 days to learn about something, what is that? That would be what, 10 hours? If you just put 10 hours into something, at the end of 1 month, you're going to be better. You're going to have more knowledge. You're going to be more affluent with whatever it is that you have put those 10 hours into over 30 days than probably 50% of the people on the planet. I mean, that's That's probably a real fact. I mean, I don't know what I'm sure there's a number out there. So somebody's done a study. But if you just put 10 hours into learning something, you're going to know more about it. You're going to be better than probably at least half the people on the planet after just 1 month's time. So you can learn anything. You can do and change anything. And like I said, you don't have to learn it all before you can start applying it. Now, great. Okay, you're only better than half the people on the planet after 30 days. You go out there, hey, maybe the first 5 people you run into are better at it than you. Oh, well, shut down. But then maybe the next person you run into goes, wow, I had no clue. You're so smart. You know all this stuff. How do you know all this stuff? You know, it's just because you take the time to put in a little bit of effort, which that's where most people fail, is they won't take the time to put in a little bit of effort because, oh my God, I Love Lucy's on and I can't miss my favorite show. I didn't know it was going to be that hard. So, whatever the case is, people aren't willing to give a few things up in order to better their lives and to change their lives. So, but it doesn't take a whole lot. And the next thing you know, hey, you put in another 20 minutes the next month. Now you got 20 hours in, and now you know more than 70% of the people on the planet. And now you go out there and you're going to get 3 people who say, wow, this is great. You know so much, before you find that one person that goes, oh, well, there's also this that you don't know about. But hey, so what? You find that person, you know what? That's a great avenue. You found somebody now that knows more about it than you. Hey, guess what? That's a possible mentor. Pick their brain. Maybe you can get some information from them. Maybe they can help you get better faster. You know, that's how you do it. So just wanted to say that, what John's talking about here is the whole idea that really your success in anything on this planet, whether it be, financial success in business or whatever, whether it be emotional success in relationships, anything. I mean, whatever it is that you want to be successful at, it really does all revolve around you and your ability to communicate and interact and to some certain extent in the business world to persuade and work with people on a different level. But just your abilities, your people skills, your ability to interact with people. That's the bottom line where your success lies. And I'm living proof of it, because I'll tell you, 4 years ago, my people skills were about as far as I could throw my RV down the driveway. And that's come a long way. Now it's about as far as I could drive it on a tank of gas. Now I got more money, I can put more gas in, and that's where I'm still working on. But, I'm just saying in relationship to somehow put that in perspective. I mean, I've come a long way in just a short period of time. I know there's still plenty room for more improvement and more growth, and that's why you don't stop. You continue going basically forever. You're always looking to improve, and that's where you will find your success. Is if you're always looking to improve yourself, then everything around you is going to improve with you, and that is really what success is.
Yeah, I just gonna throw in here again and reiterate what we've been talking about, is that, people skills are so critically important to this business, and they're learnable. So anyone can do it. That's the great part. And really what holds people back, and the inner critic, that inner voice that I was talking about earlier, where it says, oh, you can't do this. And Paul made the joke to just tell it to shut up. It's true. A lot of people's inaction, the lack of taking action, comes from one thing, and that is it's fear. And we'll make a million excuses to get out of doing something and justify it a million different ways, because quite frankly, people don't like to be afraid, and people don't like to admit it. So we'll make up a million excuses, and the only person we're fooling is ourselves. We'll make a million excuses to get out of doing something because we're afraid of it. And sometimes even we'll make a million excuses because we may even be, a lot of people are even afraid to be successful. And so they hold themselves back from being successful because they're afraid of what that might look like. It's about your comfort zone. So we've got to be willing to get out of our comfort zone and try new things if we're going to make our lives better than what they are now. You know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, but expecting different results to happen. And how many insane people are there out? Based on that definition, I'd say 98% of the population are freaking insane. You know, they get up and they do the same thing every day, expecting things to be different when they're not doing anything different than the day before. How can you expect things to change if you're not willing to change and actively trying to change things by doing things that are different? Try out some new habits. You know, one thing I think that I would recommend doing, you know, in light of what we're talking about, is get yourself a little notepad or something like this. Like I've got tons of these index card things, and each morning, you know, see, I've ripped out a whole bunch. I write down things I have to get done during the day, and then I want to open this book every single day, and I want to see that, a blank piece of paper, because I want to be able to rip these cards out at the end of each day and throw them away because I've completed the tasks on these cards. The reason I bring this up is that you might want to put together a system, like an accountability system for yourself with a notebook or something like this. And each morning, think about 5 things that you could do today to make your life better, or 5 big things that need to be accomplished. I mean, they can be as simple as, you know, for me, I'm not the cleanest person in the world, meaning I don't have time for housework. I'm bad at it. I don't enjoy it. I'll put it off till I can't even see the floor anymore. So, and the reason I bring that up is because, you know what? If you've got that kind of thing going on, which by the way, I'm going to show you guys, I don't. You can see the floor of my house.
There's a floor. There's actually a floor.
Nice
Good.
Table, okay.
I didn't hear you crunching through papers and things as you walked across the room. So,
but I bring that up because something as simple as that can hold you back. You know, it's just think about things that are like the point I'm trying to make is think about things that are weighing down on your shoulders. List 5 and try to get those 5 things off your shoulders, and just do that every day. And you know what? If you can't, don't feel bad. At least complete 1 out of that 5 that you put down there. But do that. Start getting things off your shoulders, and it starts to build your confidence. And one of the things that you need to have in order to go out there and develop your people skills is you have to have self-confidence. You have to be comfortable in your own skin, and take it from somebody that's, you know, I'm 37 years old. I'm a confident person, but I wasn't always this confident. You know, I spent a lot of my years being self-conscious, feeling depressed, or inadequate with certain aspects of my personality or my life. And it all starts with just getting the simple things off your shoulders, like maintain a clean house. What I did is I hired maids. They come twice a month. So I just have to maintain, so they come and they clean everything. Not everyone can afford that. But hey, you got to figure out a way to get the things that need to be done. That's the point I'm trying to make. So you start to get these different things that are weighing down on you off of your back, and increase your self-confidence. And that's probably, in my opinion, step 1 to building your people skills, on top of studying the How to Win Friends and Influence People book and coming and watching our hangouts.
one little thing I want to add to that real quick is when you're eliminating those little burdens off of your back type of a situation, guess what that's going to give you? It's going to give you a little bit of freedom. It's going to give you a little bit of freedom to breathe and to think. And what most people utilize that time for is to do nothing more than to breathe and to vegetate. And that's where you have to be the different person and say, you know what, okay, I've done something here. I've gained myself a little bit of freedom. What can I do now? How can I reapply this time, or how can I reapply, you know, the time that I don't have to spend doing that burdensome thing in a way to better things? And that's the key right there, is to don't just waste that time. Don't just take it and go, oh, now I've got time to relax. I can do nothing. I hate that word, relax. Oh, I just want to relax. That's what My wife says all the time, why can't we just relax? I just want to relax. And, we don't want to relax. You want to keep going. You want to find something new and better to do and how to improve. And so that's the difference right there. You have to have the drive to continue moving forward. Go ahead, John.
That basically sums it up. I see that we're almost out of time. So just to kind of throw my final thought in and bring this all together today is that, Paul and I have a team, a real estate team here, an empire, if you will. We're building here locally in Phoenix. We're looking to expand. We're looking to make connections with people all over the country on whatever capacity. If there's something that Paul or I can do to help you, or there's something that you have that you think might be helpful to Paul and I, let's connect. Let's reach out. Let's figure out a way that we can work with each other to grow each other's businesses and expand our horizons together. And, people skills. Quite frankly, it's what's missing from most of the wholesale training that's out there. It's where Paul and I are going to be putting a lot of our focus on future hangouts, continually going to be talking about personal development, because these things are so important to the real estate business and to wholesaling and to the success of our team. And that's why we talk about that stuff so much.
Way more important than how to get a contract or where to send a letter.
Yeah, exactly. And, so with that being said, take some of the suggestions we made here today. Pick yourself up a copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Start reading that book. We're going to dive into that specifically every new op day, which is Mondays for you new listeners. And I would suggest, getting yourself a little notebook or a little pad like this and start writing things down. And as you complete them, rip them out of your book, because nothing pleases me more to look in my book and see this thick stack of ripped out papers, knowing that these are tasks and things that I've accomplished. And just, being able to write down a goal and complete it by the end of the day and rip it out and rip it up because it's been completed. These little exercises, these little tasks start to build within you self-confidence, which is, in my opinion, is the step. There he goes. Is the step forward. It's the beginning. It's the first rung of the ladder, in my opinion, is the beginning to develop that self-confidence. Actually, maybe you have to have a desire first, because you need that strong desire to move forward and be successful. And then from there, you need to develop the self-confidence to bring your desires to fruition. So people skills, desire, goal setting, self-confidence, these are all things that are so important to your success. So with that, Paul, why don't you go ahead and close us on out of here and take us home with Napoleon Hill's prayer.
Universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to create better. Well, I can create better uses of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. And right now, I desire to get some things done. See you on Freedom Friday, everybody.